Hello students. We all know that Apple, the renowned brand, calls the USA its home, but do you know where all its production takes place? It happens in China. Now the question arises, why the production takes place in China? Production happens in China because they have many skilled workers who can make things quickly and at a lower cost. China also has good factories and rules that make it easy for companies like Apple to do business there. So students, to study the production and its interlinking with other countries, we've divided this video into the following parts for your understanding. First, production across countries. And second, interlinking production across countries. So, let us start with production across countries. Students, have you ever wondered how products are made and distributed around the world? Well, back in the olden days, countries used to produce most things within their own borders. However, there were some things that would cross the borders of the country. Take India, for example. In the past, India would send out raw materials and food to other countries while importing finished products. Trade was the primary way that distant countries connected with each other. However, things changed as we entered the mid-20th century. That's when a new kind of company emerged called multinational corporations, or MNCs for short. But what are these MNCs? These are big companies that own or control production in more than one nation, as it is multinational. These MNCs set up offices and factories in different countries where they can find cheap labor and resources. By doing this, they can keep their production costs low and earn higher profits. Let's look at an example to understand this better. A big multinational company that makes industrial equipment creates product designs in research centers in the USA. The components are manufactured in China and then sent to Mexico and Eastern Europe for assembly. The finished products are sold worldwide. Additionally, customer support is provided through call centers based in India. In this example, China offers the advantage of being a cost-effective manufacturing location. Mexico and Eastern Europe are beneficial because they are close to the markets in the US and Europe. And India has highly skilled engineers who understand the technical aspects of production, along with educated English-speaking youth who can provide customer care services. By spreading out production across different countries, MNCs can enjoy significant advantages. They can save a lot of money, around 50 to 60%, by taking advantage of the resources, cheap labor and skills available in different parts of the world. Recall the example we talked about in the starting of this video. We now have a better understanding that why Apple chooses China as a country for its productions. Isn't that fascinating? Today, MNCs play a crucial role in the global economy by producing goods and services in various countries. They have made the production process more complex but also more efficient. Students, we've learned how these big companies set up production in different countries to take advantage of various factors. Next, let's move to the second topic, interlinking production across countries. Firstly, MNCs prefer to set up production near the markets where their products will be sold. They also look for places where they can find skilled and unskilled labor at lower costs. If there's a good availability of resources like land, buildings, and machines, it becomes even more attractive for them. Additionally, MNCs often seek out countries with favorable government policies that protect their interests. These policies involve giving special financial benefits, making rules less strict, or providing help to people from other countries who want to invest. Once MNCs have found the right conditions, they set up factories and offices for production. The money they spend on buying assets like land, buildings, machines, and equipment is called investment. And since it's done by companies from other countries, it's called foreign investment. The goal of this investment is to earn profits by utilizing these assets effectively. Sometimes, MNCs choose to collaborate with local companies in the countries where they operate. This joint production brings benefits to both parties. The local company receives financial support from the MNC for additional investments, such as buying new machines to increase production speed. Moreover, the MNC might bring advanced technology for production, which can enhance the local company's capabilities. However, the most common route for MNC investments is acquiring local companies and expanding production. With their significant wealth, MNCs can easily buy smaller companies. Let's take an example. Cargill Foods, a massive American MNC, acquired smaller Indian companies like Parak Foods. In fact, many of the top MNCs have wealth exceeding the entire budgets of developing country governments. Just imagine the power and influence they possess with such enormous wealth. Now, let's talk about another way in which MNCs control production. You know those trendy garments, cool footwear, and sports items you love? Well, many of them are produced by a large number of small producers located all around the world. These small producers receive orders for production from big MNCs in developed countries. The MNCs then sell these products under their own brand names to customers like us. This way, MNCs have incredible power to determine the price, quality, delivery, and even labor conditions for these distant producers. This shows us that MNCs are spreading their production globally and interacting with local producers in different countries. They do this through various methods. They might form partnerships with local companies, use these companies for supplies, compete closely with them, or even buy them out altogether. Through these actions, MNCs exert a strong influence on production in these distant locations. As a result, production in these widely dispersed locations becomes interconnected. It's like a global web of production, with different countries and companies working together to create the products we use every day. Isn't it fascinating to think about how a simple t-shirt or a pair of sneakers can have connections to multiple places around the world? So students, multinational corporations, MNCs, are like global wizards, strategically spreading their production across countries to harness resources, skilled labor, and favorable conditions. They collaborate with local companies, acquire them, or tap into small producers worldwide, creating an interconnected web of production. So students, with this, we have come to the end of this video. Now that you've understood the chapter, open the EduRev app, study the chapter notes, and take the test of this chapter. Your marks are going to tell whether you've understood the topic. Also, here's an amazing secret. You get video lectures, chapter notes, and MCQ tests for all the chapters in the EduRev app. That's the magic of EduRev courses. You get everything in a single place. And, not just social studies, you get amazing courses for maths, science, English, Hindi, and much more on EduRev. Thank you.